I've tried to reach him through intermediaries, and I
The world of professional wrestling has been struck by devastating news. Paul Heyman, one of the most influential minds and voices in the history of the sport, has tragically passed away following a motor accident. The announcement sent shockwaves not just through WWE, but across the entire wrestling industry. Heyman, known for his unparalleled creativity, his unmatched ability on the microphone, and his visionary approach to wrestling storytelling, was more than a manager or promoter. He was a cultural architect. His sudden passing has left a void that no one can easily fill. From New York City to the global stage, born in New York City in 1965, Paul Heyman's path into wrestling was unconventional but destined. As a teenager, he began sneaking into arenas with a camera, taking photographs and hustling his way backstage. By sheer determination and charisma, he carved out opportunities. He became a photographer, then a promoter, and eventually one of the sharpest creative forces the industry has ever seen. His early days in promotions like the AWA and WCW revealed his unique talent for stirring emotion and controversy. By the time he launched Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, in the 1990s, Heyman had already cemented himself as a visionary willing to take risks others avoided. The ECW Revolution. Perhaps no chapter in Heyman's career is as celebrated as his time leading ECW. With limited resources but unlimited imagination, Heyman transformed ECW into a countercultural wrestling movement. He gave opportunities to wrestlers overlooked by larger companies. He introduced a grittier, reality-based storytelling style. He fused hardcore wrestling with cutting-edge characters, shaping the future of the industry. While ECW eventually closed its doors, its influence reverberates to this day. Countless stars, from Rob Van Dam to the Dudley Boys, owe their breakout moments to Heyman's vision. The Advocate, the Voice, the Mastermind for WWE fans of recent decades, Paul Heyman will forever be remembered as the advocate, the mouthpiece, and at times, the mastermind behind some of wrestling's biggest stars. With Brock Lesnar, Heyman created an unstoppable aura that carried through multiple eras. His booming declaration, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman," became one of wrestling's most iconic introductions. With CM Punk, Heyman elevated the best-in-the-world era, aligning himself with a rebel spirit that mirrored his own. In recent years, his partnership with Roman Reigns during the Tribal Chief storyline showcased once again why he was regarded as the greatest manager in wrestling history. His words were never filler. They were weapons. Heyman could turn boos into cheers, cheers into silence, and silence into anticipation with just a sentence. Tributes from around the globe. As news of Heyman's passing spread, tributes poured in from every corner of the wrestling community. Triple H wrote, "Paul was not just a genius in this business, he was family. His loss is immeasurable, but his legacy is eternal." Brock Lesnar, known for being private, released a rare statement. "I trusted Paul with my career and my life. He was my voice when I didn't have one. I'll miss him more than words can say." Roman Reigns shared, "Paul believed in me when others doubted. He was more than an advocate. He was a mentor and a friend. The Bloodline owes everything to him." From Mexico to Japan, from AEW to NJPW, wrestling promotions honored Heyman with 10-bell salutes, highlighting just how far his impact reached. A family man behind the curtain. While fans knew him as the sharp-tongued advocate, those closest to Paul Heyman speak of a devoted family man. Friends and colleagues often described how much he cherished time with his children, always emphasizing that no championship, storyline, or contract could ever outweigh his love for family. In interviews, Heyman would often deflect praise, crediting his parents, his heritage, and his children as the foundation that kept him grounded, even while working in one of the most chaotic industries in entertainment. A teacher and mentor. Beyond his on-screen brilliance, Paul Heyman's influence stretched into the locker room. Younger talents frequently described his feedback as brutally honest but invaluable. He had a knack for spotting potential where others didn't. Superstars like Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, and Ronda Rousey have all credited Heyman for giving them advice at crucial points in their careers. His ability to mentor was rooted in one simple principle: authenticity. Heyman always believed that the best characters were simply real people, amplified. The funeral service. Heyman's funeral was a solemn yet celebratory gathering. Wrestling's biggest names attended: Vince McMahon, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and countless others. They sat alongside independent wrestlers, photographers, and behind-the-scenes staff who all owed something to Paul's generosity and creativity. A framed photograph of Heyman, smiling with his trademark cell phone in hand from his early ECW days, rested beside the casket. On top lay a black ECW baseball cap, a symbol of the movement he sparked. Stories were shared, tears were shed, and laughter occasionally broke through as wrestlers recounted Heyman's sharp wit and his endless passion for the business. Fans around the world, from Brooklyn to Tokyo, fans organized vigils. In Philadelphia, the birthplace of ECW, hundreds gathered at the old ECW arena, now 2,300 arena, chanting ECW in unison, honoring the man who gave them a revolution. Social media timelines filled with clips of Heyman's greatest promos, from his fiery ECW speeches to his emotional WWE moments. Fans expressed not just admiration, but gratitude for the nights of drama, the unforgettable characters, and the energy Heyman brought to wrestling. A legacy that transcends. Wrestling, Paul Heyman's legacy, cannot be measured in championships or records. His true impact lies in the way he transformed wrestling storytelling. He showed that underdogs could become icons. He proved that words could be as powerful as physical strength. He left behind an entire generation of wrestlers who carry his lessons forward. Heyman's name will forever sit alongside the greatest visionaries in wrestling history. People like Vince McMahon, Dusty Rhodes, and Antonio Inoki. But uniquely, Heyman did it all while constantly challenging the system, often as its loudest critic and its most essential contributor. The final word in one of his most famous promos, Paul Heyman once said, "In this industry, you're not measured by the titles you hold, but by the moments you create. And my goal has always been to give the fans something unforgettable." By that measure, Paul Heyman succeeded beyond imagination. His career was a series of unforgettable moments, moments that fans will treasure forever. The wrestling world may mourn his loss, but his voice will echo eternally in arenas, on television screens, and in the hearts of fans. Conclusion: The Advocate forever. Paul Heyman's tragic passing is a loss that words can scarcely capture. Yet in grief, there is also gratitude for the decades of passion, the countless memories, and the enduring legacy he leaves behind. He was more than a manager, more than a promoter, more than a mouthpiece. He was the heartbeat of innovation in wrestling. And though the final bell has tolled, Paul Heyman's story will never truly end. Because as long as fans chant, as long as wrestlers dream, as long as the business he loved continues, Paul Heyman will live forever.